Okay.
This meeting is being recorded.
A Simche in Stettel. Nikolai II. Wird gekrönt vor Kaiser. Wunderlich und unbegreiflich ist der menschliche Meuch mit seinen aufgenommen Bilder, oft nicht
Ja.
wichtiger,
Aufnehmen, ja.
aufnehmen Bilder, oft nicht wichtiger, was behält sie auf ewig. Und mit seinen herauswerfen Bilder oft sehr wichtiger, was will nicht haben bei sich. So it's wonderful and inconceivable is the human mind, which takes in images, often unimportant ones, which it hides forever. And with its in the way that it throws out images, pictures, often it's quite important ones, which it doesn't want to remember, doesn't want to hold for itself. Vor ganze 48 Jahre Zeit, das heißt, von dem Tag, was ich bin geworden 2 Jahre alt, steht vor meinen Augen ein scharf Bild. Das erste, was hat sich eingekritzt in mein Sekoren. So for 48 years, that means from the day that I was 2 years old, there is in front of my eyes a very clear image. The first one, which is etched in my memory. A größer, hoher Binyan, beleuchten mit der Sachlicht und gepackt mit Menschen. So it's this big, tall building lit with many candles and packed full of people. Musik spielt. Music is playing. Ich sitze auf dem Achsel von einer großen, bärtigen Mensch. I'm sitting on the shoulders of a tall, bearded person. Es fällt mir herab als Sock von Fuß. Menschen beißern sich auf mir und stillen mich ein. Ich soll nicht weinen. A sock has fallen off from my foot, and people are scolding me and telling me to be quiet and that I shouldn't cry. Should I carry on or?
It's up to you.
Okay. Wenn ich hab mit Jahren später gefragt, meine Mutter, was sonst es ist geschehen mit mir in meiner ersten Kindheit, hat sie mir erzählt, als der größere beleuchtete Binyan ist gewesen die Schule in der Stadt Bilgoraj, Lubliner Gubernia, wo ich bin geboren geworden. So when in later years I asked my mother what had happened in this early childhood of mine, she told me that the large, well-lit building was the shul in the town, the town of Bilgoraj, in the province, in the Lublin district, where I was born. Die Menschen, was haben gespielt in der gepackter Schule, seinen gewinn die stottische Klezmer von Gimpel Fiddlers Kapelle. The people who were playing in the packed shul, synagogue, were the town, town musicians of Gimpel Fiddlers group. Die Simcha in Schul ist gewinnt zu lieb dem, was man hat in jenem Tag gekrönt dem Kaiser Nikolai II., dem Imperator von Russland und König von Polen. So the celebration in the shul was because of the fact that that day, Nikolai, the Tsar Nicholas II was crowned, it was his coronation as the Emperor of Russia and the King of Poland. Der bärtige Mensch, was hat mich getrogen auf den Achsel, ist gewesen Schmuel, der Beis-Din Shammes von mein Seiden, der Rauf von Stott. So this bearded man on whose shoulders I was carried was Shmuel, the Beis-Din assistant of my Zayda, who was the rabbi of the town. Hat mich mitgenommen in Schulereien, kedei ich soll sehen die Zeremonie, was mein Zayda hat gemacht in Schul an Haneusen Chua für Naim Moishel. In Gegenwart von Karl und die stottische russische Beamte. So he took me with him to the shul so that I should be able to see the ceremony which my Zayda made in the shul. Notain Chua is a prayer that is said for the rulers of the state. And this prayer was said for this new leader, this new ruler.
Right.
In the presence of the community. And the town, the Russian town's Beamte, officials, ja. Die Menschen, was haben mich eingestellt, sind gewinn meine Vetters, Josef und Itcher, was seinen gewinn unruhig zu lieb mein Weinen und stern die Feierlichkeit. The people, the men who were trying to quieten me down were my uncles Josef and Itcher, who were anxious that my crying should not disturb the festivities.
Bravo.
Okay, thank you.
Well,
Wonderful.
Bravo,
Thank you.
wonderful.
Janke, wonderful. Thank you. Rafal, you want to continue?
Gut.
Please, yeah.
Dabei hat mir schon meine Mutter erzählt noch eine Geschichte. Wie soll ich als 2-jähriges Kind hab schier nicht verschickt mein Seiden kein Sibir zu lieb meinem an Akt gegen den Selbstherrscher von der russischen Imperie. So at the same time, Mom told me about another story, how when I was a 2-year-old, I almost caused my Zeta to be sent to Siberia because of something I did against the Selbstherrscher von der Russische. The Selbstherrscher would be the self-proclaimed mostly leader of the Russian Empire. Die meistes gewesen sagt, this was the story. Der Nachalnik von der Kreisstadt, Oyezd, Bilgerei, hat übergegeben mein Seiden a geschnurret Buch. The Nachalnik is kind of the officer in charge, or the administrator of the district. It's like the county seat of Bilgerei. Had given my Zeta a geschnurret book. Geschnurret would be what? Schnur is a chain. So
I understood it as being a bound book.
yeah, tied with rope perhaps, or pressed together. Okay.
How about Geschnor? The way I saw Geschnorvet is like schnorrer, like it's like a dishonest, something that was done by Geneve. It's not.
I don't think so. I don't think it's. I think it's a physical description. It's got a chain on it, or it's some sort of a physical aspect of the book.
Bound book.
Bound. It could just be bound. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
In welchen hat zunächst genommen die Chsimes von aller Bilgereierjiden mit der Haskome auf sehr neigekreunter Herrscher. A book in which there were collected all of the signatures of the Jews of Bilgerei with a Haskoma, an agreement of their new crowned leader. Slibos der Gott gesalbter und selbstherrscheriger Monarch hat nötig bedarf die Haskome. Why this? I like this. Gott gesalbter. That means gesalbt is. My English is falling away. It's anointed. Yes, godly anointed, and himself ruling monarch. Why he needed this haskama of the Bilgereier Yidden, weiß ich nicht. I have no idea. Aber hat die russische Polizei verlangt, but that's what the police wanted. Versteht sich, als die Bilgereier Balabatim haben gleich gechasst mit sehr nehmen. Of course, the Balabatim immediately signed. In dem Tag, Erev der Krönung, is das Buch gelegen bei mein Seiden auf dem Tisch. On that day before the crowning, the book was sitting in Isaiah's place on the table. Mein Mutter hat reingeguckt darin. Mom was looking into it. Inmitten lehnen dich Simes is sie anschlafen geworden. She fell asleep looking at the signatures. Plötzlich hat sie sich aufgehabt und sie erschreckt sehen, wie ich, Ben Jochid, halt etliche Blätter in der Hand und arbeit meißen, sie herauszureißen. And to her, when she woke up suddenly, to her fear, she saw that her only child, the writer is the oldest brother. There were three. There was Tim, Bashavis, and Esther. Anyway, he's the oldest. As her only child was holding several pages in his hand, and he was doing wonders to rip them out. Mit groß Vorsichtigkeit hat sie herausgeratet die Haskomes auf den Kaiser. With great care, she saved these Haskomes for the ruler, for the Tsar. Mein Mutter und zusammen mit ihr die ganze Stube ist sicher gewesen. Als das hat der Malach von Himmel sie aufgeweckt zu der Zeit. Mom and the entire city, the entire household was sure that it must have been an angel from heaven that woke her up just in time. Weil Faraza, Majestät Baledekon, wollte mein Zede gekannt verschickt werden, kein Sabir. Because for such a disrespect to the majesty, my Zeta would certainly have been sent to Siberia. Well, let me read one more paragraph.
Sure.
Aber das habe ich nicht gedenkt. But this I wasn't remembering. Gedenkt habe ich bloß das Bild von der Show. All I was remembering was the picture, the image of the ceremony in the synagogue. Ein Zweitbild von jener Zeit, was hat sich eingekritzt in mein Zikaron, is another image which is engraved in my memory is this. Auf a weiß verschneiten Platz stehen Jiden und Weiber angetan in Schwarzen. In a place covered with white snow, there are standing men and women dressed in black. Mesetzt aruf auf a Wogen mein Mutter, mich und meine ältere Schwester. They're placing on a wagon my mother, me, and I guess Esther was older, and my older sister. Was halt mich fest by der Hand, holding me tightly by the hand. Die Menschen gehen nach zu Fuß mit dem Wagen. People are walking behind. Später gefinden wir sich alle in Stub, Licht brennen in Leichter. Later, we're all in the room, in the house, and lights or candles are burning in the candlesticks. Mein Vetter Itche hat a Becher mit Wein in der Hand and macht Kiddush. My uncle Itche is holding a Becher of wine and he's making Kiddush. Okay, someone else's turn.
Okay. You want to continue or? Okay. All right, so it's my turn. Okay. Wie mein Mutter hat mir erzählt, ist das gewesen der Tag, was mein Vater, ein junger Mann von einem Jahr 27, ist aufgenommen geworden, verrauf in dem kleinen Städtele Ländchen, Warschauer Gubernie. According to what my mother told me, this was the day when my father, a young man of the age of 27, became a rabbi in the small town of Lenchen in the county of Warschau. Die Jiden und Weiber sind entgegengegangen, mekabel ponim sein, sein erster Rov und sein Hausgesind. So the Jews and their wives went toward him to welcome their first Rav and his household, his family. Der Tag ist gewesen a Freitag 9 zu Pesach. The day was a Friday close to Passover. Vor was ich hab gedenkt dem Kiddush von mein Vater Itche, welcher ist mitgefahren von Bilgorei uns zu begleiten und nicht dem Kiddush von mein eigenem Vater, welcher ist dazu noch gewesen die Hauptfigur, zu lieb sein erster Kisse Rabones, darauf kann ich kein Entfer nicht geben. So, why I remembered this particular kiddush that my uncle Iche made, my uncle Miche, who came to Bilgorai to accompany us, and why on the other hand I did not remember the kiddush of my very own father, who now became who now was the main figure of the event, because this is his first rabbi's throne, his throne of rabbinate. This I cannot answer. I don't know why I remembered the kiddush of my uncle and not the kiddush of my father, who was the main person in this event. Noch od die zwei abgehackte Bilder stehen die weiterdicke Bilder klar und bollet vor meine Augen von die same Prieste Kinderjahren. Now, there's more that is remained in my memory. Here, there were these two cut off pictures. They are standing clearly in front of my eyes. From my real childhood, from my real years of childhood. Das Städtele Ländchen, in welchem mein Vater ist aufgenommen geworden vorauf, ist gewesen a Pizzele Kematadorf. This town, Ländchen, where my father was accepted as a Rav, was tiny, almost a village. Die Heislach sind gewesen kleine, aber die Dächer sind gewesen gedeckt, nicht mit Streu wie in a Goisch Dorf, nur mit Schindeln. Now comes a whole description of every little detail of that place. Like Yudi Zinger does it a lot. He was a painter as well as a writer. And in his writing, there's a lot of painting, a lot of descriptions of detail. So given a pizza Matadov, the Heislach, the little houses, they were small, aber die Dächer, the roofs, sind given gedeckt nicht mit Stroh, they were covered not with straw like they do in a Goyish village, in a village of Goyim, but with shingles. That were pointed into the height, and on them there were euch welche sind oft gesessen Fegelach, and on those shingles very often there were birds sitting. Bloß ein Haus hat gehad a Gorn mit Ganiklach. Only one house had a floor with porches. Die Erde ist gewesen nicht gepflastert. The earth, the ground, was not paved. Doch ist sie kein Mal nicht gewesen blottig, weil sie ist gewesen als sandige. Even though it was not paved, it was never muddy, the ground, because it was sandy. Like the earth was made of sand. Das Sand ist gewesen tief und weiß, weil das Städtele ist gelegen nicht weit von der Weißel. Okay. The sand was deep and wide, because the little town was situated not far from the river, Über die städtische Kremlach, die Weissel. Yeah, there's a period here. Now there's a description of the stores in that little town. Über die städtische Kremlach seinen gehangen kleine Schillach mit ausgemaltes Heures. Above the stores of the little town, there were hanging signs with painted merchandise. Über die Schnittkromen sind gewesen ausgemalt 2 Stücke Scheure. Above the Schnittkromen is dry goods. Above the dry goods stores, there were painted 2 pieces of goods. Arriber geworfen, eins über den anderen in der Krom. They were on top, one on top of the other in that store. Yeah, this
In
is
der
the
Krum are slanted.
in the Krom. You are right. You could not in the Krom. Yeah, in the Krom. Yeah, slanted. Okay, I see it. I never thought. Okay, thank you. Über die Psomim, I have to take off my glasses. Über die Psomim, Gewölblach seinen gewinn ausgemalt große Hitlenzucker in Bläuen gehielt. Above the store
shops.
walls, yeah.
Perfume shops. Blossom perfume.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, above the containers or the vaults with perfume were there pieces of sugar, big pieces of sugar in blue, like also in a blue container. Excuse me, I must charge my computer. Just a second. Mind you, I find this page is the most difficult for me in the whole book because it has so many descriptions. So many technical descriptions. Anyway, okay. Where was I? Über die Eisenkremlach seinen gewinn ausgemalt Tab, Fendlach und Päcklach Licht. Above the stores of metal, there were painted pots, little saucepans, and packages of candles. Auf die Tieren sind euch gewinn herausgehangen Keten und Potkoves und Schneidmessers. On the doors there were also hanging chains, horseshoes, and knives. In die Kromen, wo man hat verkauft Tabak und Papyrossen, ist damit im Fenster gestanden, herausgestellt, a Kotter in lackierende Stiefel. In the stores where they were selling tobacco and cigarettes, there was always in the window standing there a tomcat in boots that were lacquered, like in shiny boots. Räuchendig a papyrus, he was singing, he was smoking a cigarette that was in a long cigarette holder. Wie viel meine Mutter hat nicht probiert, verentfernen mein Kasche mit welcher ich habe sie gemattert, about which, that cat, my mother never attempted to answer my question with which I was bothering her. Indeed, this is the question I was bothering her with. For was a Kotter soll tragen Stiefel und räuchern a Papyrus? Why should a cat wear boots and smoke a cigarette? Hat sie es mir nicht gekannt verantworten. This she could not answer me why that is so. The next line I find important for us to understand Yud Zinger. Mein Gefühl für Realism hat Aponim schon demol nicht gekonnt verdeihen, als sei nicht reale Erscheinung. My sensitivity, or my feeling for realism, real things, this is opposed to Bashevis, who was more interested in a Hasidic mentality, in Nisim and Niflas, in miracles and dreams. His brother Yud Zinger writes is more interested in real life, real descriptions, and what's really going on in the world. And I find this, that actually this line here really defines his writings that come up later. Mein Gefühl für real, my feeling for real things probably could not tolerate such an unreal appearance, like a tomcat that is wearing boots and smoking a cigarette. Even back then, when he was such a young child, he could not stand such fantasy. And then his brother is full of fantasies if you read his brother's literature. Okay. Lebendig Kremlach haben sich gefunden. You want to read, Elena, already?
Yeah.
Okay.
Only slowly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lebende Kremler haben sich gefunden, die werkstattlich von der jüdischen Balmeloches, Schneiders, Schusters und Bakers. Next to the shops were the workshops of Jewish handicraftsmen tailors, shoemaker, and bakers. Of the schiller by the bakers is given ausgemalt a große Bräuner Rogel in Gestalt von halber Libone, was hat Mert der Mond in Holz wie in Gebäcks.
Yeah,
Mhm.
great. You read. Can you translate? I think you
Yeah.
can. Yeah, go ahead.
No, this was a sign, Reka. No. The baker's signboards were painted a large brown croissant in a shape crescent that looked more like a log than a pastry. Bei den Schusters ist given a Reusgestell a Steifer Stiefel mit Sporen. The shootmakers had a hard wood with spears. Die Schneiders haben noch keine Schilden nicht herausgehangen. The tailors haven't put up any signs yet.
You see you translate?
I
Go on. Yeah.
I write before lesson translate in English.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
In program word. Now I only read what
I
I
understand.
write
Okay. Okay, go on.
My experience. No, Es ist euch gewesen a Lederkrom mit an ausgemalter Stück Säul, was hat keine Ähnlichkeit auf kein Säul nicht gehabt. Aber der Fahr ist gewesen genau ausgemalt a Nähmaschine, auf welcher a klein Menschle näht a gewaltiger großen Schuh.
Yeah. A name machine. Yeah.
A Nähmaschine. Mein toys Nähmaschine. Oder
considering
not
your time.
neu, not new.
Yeah, right.
Sew machine, sew, yeah. There was also a leather shop with a painted soul. They looked like no any soul, but this is white. It was enough to draw the out. Sew machine on which a little man sews a mighty big shoe. Так. Das ist given a seaman as der Lederhändler is showing is index of a commercial stepper. This was a sign that the leisure merchant was also sewing and selling shoes at the same time.
Okay.
Das einzige Fabrikal in Städtele ist gewesen Als solches was gut ausgearbeitet Quas. Quas Wort Russiet. Ich from Russia, они from Russia. Only in Israel.
Yeah.
My language is Russiet.
Ja, wir wissen.
Huh?
Okay.
No.
You want to continue?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Das ist gewesen Siemens. Das einzige Fabrik. Okay? The only factory in the city was one that produced kvass. Kvass. Farbige Maske was fleckt aus Schießen von die Flasche, wenn man hat sie aufgekorkt. A multicolor drink was shot out of a bottle when it was uncorked.
Good. Okay.
Uncorked.
Yeah, okay.
Das Rot von dem Quasfabrikal hat ständig sich gedreht und geräuscht. The wheel of the Quas factory was spinning and making noise all the time. Rumfabrikal got sich gesprayt auf weiche, weiße Flüssigkeit, was hat ausgesehen wie Smetane. A soft white liquid, like cream spread around the factory. Es sind euch gelegen angeworfen Sticker von zerbrochenen Fläschern, grüne, rötliche und braune, durch welche wir eigentlich haben geguckt auf der Welt und gesehen sie in die schönsten Collieren. There were scattered pieces of broken bottles, green, red, and brown, through which we boys looked at the world and saw it in the most beautiful colors. Von die ausgenutzte Dreadlock, mit welcher die Korkes von die Quasfläschern sind gewesen, gefestigt, haben wir gemacht Brillen für sich. We made the glasses for ourselves from used pieces of wire used to fasten the corks of kvass bottles.
Oh my God. You worked very hard to do all this.
No.
Yeah, go on. My goodness. You worked more than all of us. Yeah.
No, I won't learn English and Yiddish.
Very good. Okay, go on.
My experience, I sorry. Meine geschrieben
Good.
English.
Okay, go. Why sorry? Go on.
Так. Haben wir gemacht. So. Так. Brief. Leben dem Fabrikal ein bisschen abgerückt und sich ausgespreit ein Lager, in welchen Aid hat gehalten allerlei Maschinen, Vererdarbeit, Dreschmaschinen, Ackermaschinen, нікуди, dot. Так. Near the factory, a little to the side, there was a camp in which a Jew kept all sorts of machines of earthworks, threshing machines, plowing machines. Schwaben, deutsche Kolonisten, was haben gewohnt in die Dörfer leben, pflegt kaufen und die Maschinen von Zeit zu Zeit in Städten sind euch gewöhnt zwei goische, dort. Так. Schwabens, German colonists, who lived in the villages, used the bypass here from time to time. Так. In Städten sind euch gewöhnt zwei goische Krummen, was haben verkauft Chazir.
Yeah, Chazer.
Chazer.
Yeah.
Bahibru
By Hebrew, Chazir, yeah.
Chazer. Oh, Lomatim Chazir. Bier und Bronfen. The small town had two Gentile shops that sold pork, beer, and strong wines. Das Beis am Midrashal und die Mikwe sind gestanden in a Zeit, leben a Lonke, auf welcher es haben sich gepaschet Kie und Gänse hart bei a ständig Wasser, mehr Sumpf wie Wasser, und welchen die Behemoths pflegen sich und trinken und Katschkes sind herumgeschwommen dort. Ja. The synagogue and mikvah stood off the side next to a meadow where cows and geese
Meadow. Yeah,
grazed in dense, stagnant water. There was more swamp than water in which animals used to drink and ducks swim. Die frisch haben gearbeitet meistens in oder dem sumpfigen Wasser, was es gewöhnt bewachsen Gesicht mit Schaber. The frogs were doing tricks in the same swampy water, densely overgrown with sedge. Sedge. Abgerückt von Städten ist gestanden der größere Häuf von Poritz, Christowski und die Zifle Areuter größer Bienen mit zwei verrissene Turms und Zelimim. So haben sie reingestochen in breiten Größen und runden Himmel rein. Tak. Away from the city stood a large courtyard of the landowner Christovsky, and the little church, a large red building with two ruined towers and crucifix perching into the white light and round sky.
Thank you. Thank you, Elena. Wow. How long did it take you to do it? If I may ask.
No, asach time, asach zman.
Asach time?
Asach bli end. Zeer, они arbeiten sehr hard.
Yeah, yeah, we can tell. Yes.
Rachel, entschuldig mir, Brenda reads also. She came in a little bit.
I know. I see her now. Brenda, do you want to read?
Zij is al goed. Nicht hangt. Aber
Okay.
waar ik moest studeren, die meisje etliche Mal,
Ja.
ik kan red.
Ich verstehe. Okay. Okay, so Yankev, it's your turn again. Okay.
Das Städtele ist gewesen a Jungs. Nur was von der Nodelarois. So the village was very young, very new, as if it had just hadn't been founded very long before. Die Balabatim seinen meistens gewähnt Dorfsieden und die Arumike Dörfer. The landowners were mostly village Jews who came from the surrounding villages. Die meiste is gewinn, was mit etliche Jahr vor unser Ankommen kann lynchen, hat die russische Polizei genommen Treiben von die Arumike Dörfer die Juden, was haben jahrelang gewohnt in sei. So the story was that a few years, several years before our arrival in Lenshin, the Russian police had begun to expel the Jews from the surrounding villages. The Jews who had for many, many years had lived in those villages. Also wie Leuten Gesetz haben jeden gemeckt wohnen in Städtlach, haben die rausgetriebene Jiden abgekauft ein Stück samtige Erd beim Poritz, Christowski, und haben ausgebaut als Städteler. So, because according to the law, Jews were permitted to live in the small towns. The expelled Jews bought a piece of sandy land from the Poritz Christowski, and they built a village on this piece of land. Marsha, can you go down a bit? Right. Der Poritz, was ist euch gewinn der Richter von dem Dorfsgericht, ist gewinn zufrieden zu verkaufen sein samtiger Boden für gut Geld. Und hat schon durchgeführt, wo man darf, als sein Städtele soll sein koscher. So the nobleman, the landowner, who was also the judge in the town court, was quite happy to sell his sandy property for good money. And he also passed through permission where it was necessary, where it was needed, that so that his little village would be kosher, would be acceptable. Die Jiden haben ausgebaut heislich, geöffnet Krommen, eingeordnet, werkstattlich und genommen Leben wie alle Jiden in Polen. So the Jews built houses, they opened shops, they set up workshops, and they began living like all the Jews in the rest of Poland. Die jüdische Waldhändler von die arumike Gedichte Wälder haben sie gegeben a Matone Gehilz, von was sie haben ausgebaut a klein Besmedrischel mit a Mikve. So the Jewish timber merchants from the surrounding thick forests gave as a gift timber, from which they built a small study house with a mikveh. Der Poritz hat sie gegeben am Matone durch Stickel Platz für die heilige Binyonim. So the landowner gave them as a gift a small plot on which to build this the holy buildings. Zu lieb dem haben die Jiden gesehen, als der Städtele soll tragen dem Namen vom Poritz. And for this reason, the Jews made sure that their village should carry the name of the nobleman, the landowner. Von seinem Namen Leon haben sie gemacht Leonchen und auf Yiddish Lenchen. From his name, Leon, they created the name of the village Leonchen, and in Yiddish it was called Lenchen. Die Zoll Jiden in Städtele is Sachakel gewinn a 40 Mishpoches oder arum 200 Nefoshes. The number of Jews in the town was in total about 40 families, or around 200 souls. Wie azoi mein Vater is megulgel geworden von Bilgerei bei der Österreicher Grenz bis dem verworfenen Heck Ländchen, was ist gewinn am Mahalach von knappe 400 Wiost von der Grenzstadt, ist eine verwickelte Geschichte, wegen welcher meine Mutter pflegt oft reden mit Bitterkeit. So how it came to be that my father landed up from Bilgerei to close to the Austrian border in this desolate distant place, Lenchen, which is it was a distance of about 400 Vjost from the border town. This is a very involved story about which my mother used to speak often, very often, with bitterness.
Yankov, can I finish it? Because we are approaching the end of.
Yeah.
Thank you. The Maise is given as this is how the story was. Mein Zeder Yankov Mordcha, der Bilgorei Rov, und mein Mutter Batsheva sehr lieb gehabt. Weil sie ist gewesen eine große Lamdanis und allein sich ausgelernt verstehen Lashon Kodesh Forim und auch viele Gemore. So my grandfather, Yankov Mordechai, the rabbi of Bilgorai, he loved my mother, Batsheva, very much, because she was a very learned person. She was very studious. She herself taught herself to understand the Lashon Kodesh, the Hebrew of the sacred books, and even Talmud, Gemara, Tanakh, Bible, hat sie gekonnt mamash auf auswendig. Even Bible, she knew Bible by heart. Hat für ihr ausgesucht, a Mann alamden, wo soll können werden a Rov in a Stadt. Therefore, he was looking for the kind of husband he was looking for her was a man who is also learned, a scholar, right? Who will be able to become a Rav, a rabbi in a town or in a city. Shatchonim haben gewusst, als in der 9. Stadt Tomaszów, Lubliner Gubernie, oder Dayan Reb Shmuel Azun Pinchas Mendel, was is a Lamden und a Yere Shamayim. So the matchmakers knew that in a nearby town, Tomaszów, in the county of Lublin, the ritual, the religious judge, the ritual judge, it's a Rabbi Shmuel, he has a son whose name is Pinchas Mendel, who's very learned and God-fearing. Und sie haben gerät dem Schiddach und durchgeführt ihm. So they made the match and they managed it. They were successful with it. Now, my mother is zu ihr Chasane alt gewesen 17 Jahre. My mother was 17 years old for her wedding. Mein Vater 21 Jahre. My father was 21 years old. Gleich nachdem, wie ist befreit geworden von Gehendienen. It was right after he was discharged from the service, which means he was in the army too. Man sagte hat zugesagt dem Edem seinem 5 Jahre Käst bei ihm in Haus. So my grandfather promised his son-in-law 5 years of support in his house so he can sit and learn. That was the style. כדי soll durch der Zeit, כדי soll durch der Zeit sich können zugreifen zu einer rabbonischer Karriere, das heißt, soll kriegen Smiche auf Rabbones und soll sich auslernen Russisch und beilegen ein Examen. Weil das Gesetz hat damals gefordert, als jüdische Stadt in Polen soll nicht haben kein 2 Rabbonim, a Geistlichen und a Occasionem, nur ein Rov. So this is what happened. So now he's sitting and studying in his father-in-law's house, and he's sitting and studying in order to preparing a career of a Rav, that he should be able to get smicha, ordination as a rabbi, but also that he should be sitting there, at the father-in-law's expense, studying Russian, and so that he will be able to pass an examination given by the state, because the law at that time demanded that a Jewish town in Poland shouldn't have two rabbis, one spiritual one and one a state appointed one who knows how to handle state things and knows Russian. This had been the way it was before, but now the law required that one Rav should know both the Jewish stuff and the state stuff. And so the plan was to have his father, Singer's father, Yudi Singer's father, study to get his ordination and to be authorized by the state as a rabbi. So what's happening with this? This is a Geistlichen or a Kazionem go ein Rav. They demanded that there should be one rabbi who soll durchführen beide functions. They will fulfill both functions. I believe we have time still. Okay. The Yiddische und die Meluchische, both functions, the Jewish function and the state function. Mein Vater hat die Smicha auf Rabbones gekrogen 1 und 2. My father received the ordination as rabbi 1 to 3. There was no problem. Azun von a Dayen, an Endinkel von Dores Rabbonim, an Eden von a Rov, und allein alam den ist es bei ihm gewesen a Kleinigkeit, euch zu lernen, sich Jore Dea und Shulchan Aruch. it was in the family. He was the son of a rabbinical judge and the grandson of generations of rabbis and the son-in-law of a rabbi, and he was a scholar. For him, it was a small job to learn to study. Now there's two sacred books, Yoreh Deah and Shulchan Aruch. Those are books that deal with Jewish law. Aber hat bei kein Fall nicht gewollt lernen sich Russisch und Grammatik. But in no way did he want to study Russian and grammar. כדי zu belegen ein Examen auf 4 Klassen Gymnasie, was es hat sich gefordert, mein Seide und gedungen für ihn a russischen Lehrer. Okay. כדי zu belegen an examiner in order to pass a test of 4 grades of high school, which was required, which was required to pass the test. My grandfather hired for him a Russian teacher. Aber anstatt gehen zum Lehrer ist mein Vater besser gegangen in Hasidim-Stibel. But instead of going to the Russian teacher to study Russian, my father preferred to go to the Stibel, to the synagogue of the Hasidim, and to converse with them about Hasidic topics. Converse about Hasidic topics with the young folk. The cast those who were also, this is some description, who were also sitting, were also son-in-laws of people who were supporting them. Gepravet Hasidische Sudalach, he arranged Hasidic meals, maybe parties. Und auf Yom Tovim auch gefahren zum Reben kein Shinyave in Galicia, and for the holidays, he used to travel to his Hasidic Rebbe in Shinyave in Galicia. Was is gelegen über the Grenze, which was beyond the border. Auf solche Nesies pflegt absitzen wochenlang on such trips. My father, again, instead of studying Russian, was continued sitting there with the Hasidim. He used to sit there for weeks, for long weeks. And also, too often, he would go to his parents, like a jump to his parents' place in Tomasho, und verbringen mit die Hasidische junge Leitlach. And there he would have a good time with the young Hasidim. Man Seide hat darüber gleich geworfen an Umchen auf sein Edem, wenn man es drochim hat nicht verdrogen. So my grandfather did not like his son-in-law right away. His son-in-law, whose way of living he could not tolerate. I think that's it. We have 4 more minutes, or you want to continue? I'm done.